Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel, and welcome to day 10 of the 2-week yoga challenge. Today's class we're going to be learning arm balances. So we're going to be starting off with a gentle flow, warming up our arms, warming up our shoulders, preparing our wrists, and then we're going to be learning crow, side crow and fallen angel pose. Again, as always, just moving with your own body. If you have any aches or pains or any injuries, just being especially careful today, putting on something comfortable, and let's go. Beginning your practice today in a comfortable seat, sitting either cross-legged or on your knees. Gently resting your arms on your thighs as you feel the crown of your head tall towards the ceiling. Your sit bones grounded into the earth. Your spine straight. Starting to breathe into the belly here. With every inhale, feel your belly rise. With every exhale, feel your belly fall. Continuing to breathe like this for a few moments as you start to ground yourself. Release any tensions, any to-do lists, any anxieties. Calling to mind an intention today for your practice. And once you've found your intention, feeling it rise towards your heart center. Inhale, bring your hands together at heart center. Breathe into the heart space. And as you exhale, release your hands. And coming over onto your hands and knees, coming into a toe stretch. Tucking the toes underneath you. And sending your sit bones towards your heels. Perhaps encouraging the small toes out as you bring your hands together in heart center. Gently close your eyes. For some of you, this might be a little bit too intense. Feel free to take the weight off your heels. Just remembering to breathe here. And using the breath to anchor you back into the present moment, back into your body. Keep breathing. With your next exhale, releasing your hands and rolling over onto all fours and just tapping your feet out. Coming into a wrist stretch now, so turning your fingers towards your body and gently sitting back on your heels and stretching your wrist out, fingers long. Closing the eyes. And breathing normally. Again, if it helps, using the breath as an anchor to keep your mind here in the present moment. To bring it back if it begins to wander. Gently rolling back onto all fours, turning your fingers back out. Coming into extended child's pose, so touching the big toes together and sitting back towards the heels. Reaching the arms out long, and if you can, resting the forehead onto the mat. Staying here for a few more moments. Continuing to breathe normally. through the nose only. Gently coming up onto all fours, bringing the hands underneath the shoulders, reaching up the right arm and tucking the right arm underneath the left. Perhaps taking the left arm behind the back, coming into a shoulder stretch. Again, if it feels nice for you, closing down the eyes and continuing to breathe. Again, keeping the breath natural but deep, and using it as an anchor to bring you back. Inhaling, coming back to the center. Just rock out the back, sitting back on the heels and rolling the spine. When you're ready, coming onto the other side by lifting up the left hand, tucking it under the right, and again coming into a shoulder stretch. Taking the right arm this time behind the back. And again, if it feels good for you, closing down the eyes, relaxing the face, placing the hands back on the mat, gently moving the body again. And when you're ready, tucking the toes and coming into a downward facing dog. Paddling out the feet in downward facing dog, taking any movements with the body. And then rolling into plank and rolling back to downward facing dog. Just moving with your own breath. When you're ready, coming into stillness. Just breathing here normally. With your next inhale, gently bring yourself into plank. And as you exhale, lower yourself down all the way onto the mat as slowly as possible. Coming up into a cobra, releasing back down onto the mat, and then bending the knees, tucking the toes, and sending the hips back to downward facing dog. Coming back into plank with the inhale, and exhale, send yourself down, this time into an upward facing dog. Inhaling here, and exhaling, rolling over the toes, downward facing dog. Inhale back to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, roll over the toes, downward facing dog. Inhaling to plank. Exhale, come through chaturanga. Inhale to upward facing dog. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Inhaling to plank. Exhaling, chaturanga. Inhaling, upward facing dog. And exhaling, downward facing dog. Bending the knees, looking forwards, and jumping to the front of the mat. Inhale, take a halfway lift. Exhale, fold. And inhale all the way up. Hands together at heart center, arms by your side. Stepping to the front of the mat. Inhale, reach up, look up with the arms. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step back into plank. Coming through chaturanga to upward facing dog with the inhale. And exhaling into downward facing dog. Bending the knees, looking forwards, stepping or jumping forwards. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. And inhale all the way up. Hands together at heart center, arms by your side. Inhale, reach up, look up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to shins. Exhale, plant the hands, step or jump back, coming through chaturanga to upward facing dog. And exhaling to downward facing dog. Bending the knees, looking forwards and jumping to the front of the mat. Taking the feet hip width distance and inhaling up into chair pose. Sinking into the chair. And then when you're ready, bringing your hands together at heart center and stepping to the front of the mat, taking the feet wide, coming down into yogi squat, hands to prayer, just adjusting the feet to wherever feels comfortable for you, trying to keep the back straight as long as possible. We're just going to be starting to test out our balance here. So placing the hands on the mat and gently rocking the body forwards, placing the knees on the triceps, just testing out our balance here. Perhaps just lifting your feet a millimeter off the floor, but trying to keep your gaze forward. It's going to really help keep your balance and send the body forwards. If you manage to be there, just gently starting to squeeze the thighs together, perhaps trying to touch your feet at the back. Take a few more times. Just playing around here, seeing what works for you. And again, you might just be lifting the feet just a millimeter off the mat. That's perfectly fine. Just testing your balance, and as always, moving safely and gently with your own body. Coming up into standing, bringing the feet together and gently rolling up the back, rolling out the shoulders, rolling out the neck. And when you're ready, stepping to the front of the mat. Inhale, reach up the hands. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step or jump back, coming through chaturanga. Inhale to upward facing dog. And exhale to downward facing dog. Bending the knees, looking forwards, stepping or jumping forwards, and jumping into a squat. Coming into another round of crow. So again, you can see that I'm resting my knees on my forearms. Depending on your hip flexibility, you might need to straighten the knees before you come into crow. But again, just playing around and just working with your own body. If you are up in crow, squeezing the knees together and trying to bring the toes together. Keep playing around. And if you'd like, perhaps jumping back into chaturanga, inhaling to upward facing dog, and exhaling back into downward facing dog. Bending the knees, looking forwards, stepping or jumping forwards. Inhale, take a halfway lift. Exhale, fold, and inhale all the way up. Hands together at heart center, arms by your side. I'm going to come into side crow now. So again, stepping to the front of the mat. This time we're going to step the feet together. Inhale, reach up with the hands, bring the hands to heart center. Inhale again. And sit down into a chair pose, keeping the feet together, trying to keep the knees together. Staying here for a few breaths. And then when you're ready, bring your hands through heart center. Taking your right elbow over your left knee. And coming into a twist. Placing the hands either side of the body and creating a shelf with the forearms. And again, just testing your balance here, rocking yourself forwards, just playing around with how it feels to lift your feet off the ground. If you need a break, coming back into the twist, and then going again. Again, creating that shelf by bending the elbows, sending the sit bones over onto the arms, And if you feel like you're confident here, placing your head on the ground, just testing out how it feels to have your head on the ground in preparation for Fallen Angel. You're going to prepare to come into Fallen Angel now. So coming into Side Crow, placing your hands on the ground. Again, creating that shelf as you send your hips forwards. This time you're going to place your head on the mat and gently start to lift up your leg. Again, just playing with your balance, moving as safely and as gently as possible. So going again one more time, placing the hands in front of the mat, creating a shelf with the elbows, sending the hips forwards, and gently resting your head on the mat, only if it's available for you, lifting up the leg, and then coming back down, coming back into the twist, reaching your hands back up into chair, bringing your hands together at heart center, and stepping to the front of the mat. Inhale, reach up with the hands. Exhale, hands to heart center, arms by your side. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, sit into chair, coming into the other side this time. So just sitting in the chair here, keeping the knees together, taking the sit bones down, and bringing the hands together at heart center, and taking your twist to the other side. Again, staying here in the twist, trying to keep the knees together. And then when you're ready, coming onto the other side, creating a shelf with the arms. And again, just testing your balance here. Just playing around. It might be your weaker side like me, or it might be your stronger side. If it's your stronger side, and perhaps you'd like to try Fallen Angel, dropping your head on the mat, and lifting up your leg. Otherwise, just testing your balance. Just taking the feet a few inches off the floor, making this your last round as you inhale, bringing your feet back together, and come back into a chair. Bring your hands together at heart center, arms by your side. Step into the front of the mat, just laying down on the ground, bringing your knees to your chest, and rocking out your knees. Rocking out the lower back and releasing the legs onto the mat. Taking the arms to a T, bring the knees to the sit bones, coming into a twist, straightening out the top leg if you can in the twist, and turning the face to the opposite side. Feeling that beautiful stretch along the back, along the shoulders. Breathing here for a few more moments. Just taking this time to revisit your intention, to let go of any frustrations, any expectations. Coming back to the center and gently rocking out the lower back. Coming onto the other side, and again, if you can, straightening the leg, or just moving whichever way your body wants to move today. Gently coming back to the center. Taking the knees to the chest, rocking out the lower back. We're going to come into a small bridge pose, so placing the heels towards the sit bones, the arms by the side, sending the hips up, interlacing the fingers behind the back, and tucking the chin. Taking a few breaths here. And with your next exhale, releasing the hands and rocking the spine all the way down onto the mat. Release the arms, release the legs, rock out the neck. Coming into your final Shavasana now. Closing down your eyes. Releasing the body long and heavy. Perhaps inhaling through the nose and exhaling out through the mouth. Completely letting go. Gently starting to bring some movements into your body. As you take your heels to your sit bones and roll yourself up into a seated position, keeping your eyes closed, resting your arms on your thighs. And again, revisiting your intention today, thanking yourself, taking the time to look after your body, bringing your hands together at heart center, bowing your head. Namaste.